Hello, it's a thankful Thursday. It's April 23rd, and this is the Thursday math column. Please make sure you put your first and last name in so you get credit for your work. The first problem says, what is the missing number? We had one like this yesterday. We're going to solve it the same way. So it says something minus 174 equals 85. So I think about it and I know subtraction and addition, if I use the same three numbers, I have a fact family. So if I'm going to solve this, I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to go the opposite way, and to undo subtraction, I'm going to add. So let's go ahead and look at this. So I have something minus 174 equals 85. This number here that I'm solving for is going to be bigger. When I subtract 174, I'll get 85. So go the opposite way. Let's add these together. So I'm going to take my numbers and line them up. I'm going to put 85 in the correct spaces in my place value chart here. So if this is hundreds, tens, ones, when I say the number 85, I don't say the word 100. So I'm not putting a number here. The 8 goes in the tens place, 80, and then 5 ones. Since I'm working backwards, I'm going to undo subtraction by adding. I put 100, 1 in the hundreds place, 70, 7 tens, and 4 ones. Now I'm going to add, and when I add, like I said, I'll get a bigger number, and then we can check this answer and make sure that it's correct. So let's add 5 plus 4 is 9. 8 plus 7, if I start with 8 and I go 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So put my 5 down, carry my 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So 259 when I add 85 plus 174. So let's put that here. And I'm going to think about, is that reasonable? I take a bigger number in the 200s minus a number in the 100s, and I get 85. It seems reasonable. Let's see if I did this correctly. So let's check it. So let's take 259, and I line it up again. 200, 2 in the hundreds, 5 tens, 9 ones. I'm working the problem as minus 170, 4. 9 minus 4, 9, so 8, 7, 6, 5. 9 minus 4 is 5. 5 minus 7. Uh-oh, I'm going to get a negative number. And I don't want a negative number in 3rd grade, so I'm going to go to my next door neighbor, borrow a cup of sugar. He has 2 cups. He says, yes, you can have 1, and the 2 becomes a 1. 15 minus 7 is 8, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So that checks out. We get 85 back. So our original answer is 259. The second problem says, Chris has a bag of 36 chips. He wants to split them between himself and his 5 friends. How many chips will each person get? All right, let's look at the numbers we have here. We have 36 and 5, but there's a little tricky thing they added in here. And remember, it says he wants to split them between himself and his 5 friends. So if it's himself, that's 1, and then 5 friends. So let's look at solving this. Here are my numbers, the 36 chips, himself, and his 5 friends. So that number really becomes 6 total people. All right, so what I did here is I took my total 36 and I have the 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people now. When I divide them, I can take 36 and I can count out. I can just start giving each person 1 until I get to 36. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, I'm almost there, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. I made it to 36. So I actually did 36 and I divided it by 6 people. And if I count, they'll each get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I know my fact families. I know 6 times 6 equals 36, or 36 divided by 6 equals 6. So the answer there is they'll each get 6. The third problem says Tatiana's book cover has an area of 88 square inches. Which of the following could be the length and width measurements of the book? All right, so I go back and look. I've read the problem and I see one number, 88. So I'm going to use 88 somehow. And then I see the keyword area. So area equals 88. They want to know the length and the width. So I remember area equals length times width. They've already given me the area as 88. So I'll put 88 right here. And then you can see that in my little picture, I drew a book cover and area is 88, the whole inside. Now I have to figure out which one of these is correct. If I start with my bottom one, see, this is what I'm doing here. These first 3 all have the number 8 in common, all right? So I'm gonna look at those in just a minute. Let's look at this one, 7 times 4. So if I count by 7s and I go 4 times, I go 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 7 is 21, plus 7 is 28. I'm nowhere near my 88 that I need. So this one will not work. Now I can just start counting by 8s. And as I go, when I get 9 8s, I'll have the answer. And then if I have to keep going, I can add another 8 to get 10 8s and another 8 to get 11 8s. So let's start counting by 8s. And I'm using that because that's what all 3 of these have in common. So let's start. 8 plus 8 is 16. 3 8s would be 24. 4 8s would be 32. 5 8s would be 40. 6 8s is 48. 7 8s is 56. 8 8s, I ate and I ate. I got sick on the floor. 8 times 8 is 64. And 64 plus 8 will give us 72. So 9 8s equals 72. So that's not going to work. That's not enough. So let's take 72 and add 8 to it. So 72 plus 8 will give us 80, or I can count by 10s. 10, 8 times is 80. That's not going to work because I have to get to 88. But I do know 80 plus 8 will give me 88. So 11 times 8 will be the correct answer. And if you also look, when you do 11 times 8, I'm going to put it right here, 11 times 8. 1 times 8 is 8, and 1 times 8 is 8. So 11 times 8 will give us 88. So our first choice is the correct answer there. All right, the problem says, this is the last problem, it says, what is the area of the figure below? So that keyword area is what I need, and I know area equals length times width for a rectangle or square. My problem here is it's that odd shape again. So I have to put in the dotted line and solve two different areas because I'm going to have two different rectangles. So let's look here. If I go straight down here, so this is where I'm looking at. I could either go across this way, I could go straight down. I've divided this into this rectangle and this rectangle right here. So if I look at this first one at the bottom, I have my length of 6 and my width of 3, which will give me the whole area in here, 6 times 3. So if I count by 6's, I go 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 6 is 18. So the area of this whole inside here is 18. Now I have to figure out the area of this side over here. When I do this side, I see that the length right here is 9. So opposite sides will be the same. So 9 and 9. My problem is up here and down here. They have to be the same. My clue I can look at is this 9 right here. Now when I came down and cut this object apart, I'm breaking up the 9. So I have this side and this side. I know opposite sides of a rectangle are the same. If this is 6, this side has to be 6. So I say 6 plus what gives me that 9 back. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So plus 3. 3 plus 6 gives me the 9 back. So if this side's 3, this side up here also has to be 3. So now I have length of 9, width of 3 for this rectangle. And I can do 9 times 3. I can count by 9's. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 9 is 27. Remember we have a couple crazy fun 9 patterns, but remember going down the 10s, 0, 1, 2, our next would be 3, 4, 5, and then the ones place goes in the opposite order, counting down 9, 8, 7, 6. Anyways, 3 9s is 27, so I'll put 27 in here. Then I just have to add those together. So I have the 18 here, and I have the 9 times 3 is 27. When I add these together, I'll get the total area of the figure. 8 plus 7 is 15. Put my 5 down, carry my 1. 2 plus 1 gives me 4. So the total area will be 45 for that whole figure. When you get done with your copy, make sure you click the submit button, and then if there's a blue mark as done button at the end on Google Classroom, please click it so that I get it and it does not say that it's missing. All right, thank you and have a thankful Thursday.